Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Force here yet again with another guide to soloing this week's Nightfall, which is the Nexus. Now, as always, this solo guide, while focusing on the Nightfall version, will also apply to the heroic version of Nexus, except it's a little bit easier. This week's Nightfall modifiers include Angry, so that means you're not staggering enemies, Juggler, forcing you to bounce between weapons or just use your Icebreaker, and then, of course, Void Burn, so bring your Void damage. Upon entering the strike, you will first encounter the Engine Branch Room. This is the room in which you have to destroy 3 servitors. Now, first upon entering, on the left-hand side, you're going to get a spawn of Dregs and Vandals, pretty easy to take out. And then another pack of enemies, which will include some Vandal Majors as well as Shanks, will be spawning to the far right. Now, after you clear up the first pack on the left, I suggest running back to the doorway. This is going to be the safe spot for the majority of this upcoming encounter. And then you've got the 3 waves of the servitors to eliminate. Now, the biggest threats in this particular area are the servitors, as they deal void damage, as well as the Vandal Majors. They don't deal void damage, but they fire incredibly fast and they can take you down very quickly. There's also a few Vandal Snipers. So you're going to get multiple waves which are coming with the servitors. Just take them out. The Fallen Shanks here have solar shields, so either use solar damage or just that enhanced void damage. Again, be wary of the Vandal Majors because they fire so quickly. And then with the final wave and the last servitor, you're also going to get a Captain. He's got an arc shield, but he can again be taken out pretty quickly with the void damage. Now, once all 3 servitors are dead, the next section will be opening up, and at this point 3 melee Vandals will be running down the stairs. Keep a distance, shoot them in the head. Now, next we've got the top room here, which includes 2 Shanks, some Vandal Majors, and then some Stealth Vandals. So you can just engage with this room, but there's also a bypass in an open window at the staircase just before you enter this area. So if you just walk up the second set of stairs and turn around, you can actually jump right through that window and skip that entire room just to the left. If you want to save time, this is a good idea. Next, we move on to Dig Site 4. Now, before you enter the big open room, we've got a couple of Vandals, Dregs, and Goblins that are duking it out, all easy to eliminate. And then you move down the set of stairs in which you've got 3 Vex Harpies. Now, these guys have arc shields, so just take them out one at a time. However, be careful when you're doing this, as some of the Goblins, which are on the space outside of this room, can actually teleport in and take you by surprise. So just be aware that that's a possibility. After taking out the 3 Harpies, we'll then be moving into the open space outside. This has got a bunch of Goblins, which by themselves aren't too scary. Don't let them get close though, because their melee damage is void, so it'll take you down very quickly. There are also 2 Goblin Majors. These guys are a pretty huge threat as they deal void damage, and it's this large lobbing splash damage, which means a couple of hits will take you out. There's also 2 Hobgoblins on the platform up high, which you can snipe from a distance, and then 2 Minotaurs. Minotaurs are probably, along with those Goblin Majors, the biggest worry, because they also have void damage, but they have a void shield, so use your void heavy weapons and you can take them out very quickly. Now, once again, this room, as well as going forward, is where you're going to have to be the most careful while soloing this Nightfall, because if anything is likely to kill you, it's truthfully going to be the Minotaurs. Once you've cleared up this open space, you head around the corner and there will be a spawn of Goblins that you can take out. And then as you move out to the ledge outside heading towards the boss room, there's a huge spawn of Goblins. They don't deal void damage, so they're not too threatening, but there's so many of them that you can still get taken down pretty quickly, so of course be careful. And now we move into the boss fight for Sekrion the Nexus Mind. Now, the area that I'm going to suggest going will be the same one that we used in the past. I want to clarify a couple of things first. Looking down, the spot that we're going to is on the far west side of the room. Now, you can get there very quickly as a Titan with the shoulder charge, which I'm showing you here. However, if you're not a Titan, you're still quite able to get there. What I suggest doing is just quickly switching over to a high agility build, which will increase your movement speed as well as your jump capabilities, and then you can can jump from this back ledge over here, or if you can't make it from there, if you have difficulty, there's also a rock formation right beneath the ledge, which you can hop onto and then jump into the spot. You just have to be making sure that you enter from this direction, as there are invisible walls if you try to go another way. Once you're up there, you are then tasked with clearing the Minotaurs once more. Be careful, Minotaurs deal void damage. They will take you down very quickly, and when all the Minotaurs die, then spawns the boss. Now the boss also deals void damage, and even though you're safe up here, you still have to be concerned about splash damage. The safest spot to sit will actually be right behind this wall, in which the splash damage should not hit you. Now waves of enemies will be coming, which you can largely ignore. However, if you see any hobgoblins, it's a good idea to snipe them because they can lob grenades up to where you are at, but beyond that, just shoot the boss in the face and collect your loot. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this week's guide to the Nexus Nightfall. This is a solo guide, which also once more applies to the heroic version. If you get to the end of this and you decide you want to help out your friends, you can of course allow them to join your Nightfall, and they can collect the rewards as well. Thanks so much, hope you have a fantastic week. I will see you next week for another guide. Keep watching and keep owning.